A beautiful baby boy spirited away in the night by his own mother. No one has seen the precious infant since he vanished. On the surface, Elizabeth Johnson and Logan McQuarrie were a golden couple, but underneath that pretty exterior were cracks.
We had gotten in an argument and I was standing by a fire and she shoved me into the fire in the backyard.
A few months later, Elizabeth became pregnant. The couple looked excited to welcome their bundle of joy, but Logan says Elizabeth wanted an abortion, but then changed her mind and decided to keep the baby.
I loved him, just picked him up and kind of stared at him and just held him for a long time.
The baby adored by Grandma, cozy in a fluffy blanket and sporting a little giraffe onesie. But reality was very different. According to Logan, Elizabeth was unable to tolerate the challenges of caring for a newborn.
Whenever he would cry, she would go in the other room and leave him in a different room so she didn't have to hear it.
The young dad says he walked on eggshells in fear of setting Elizabeth off.
All my socks were cut in half, my boxers, pants, all of them were cut up, my shirts. All the shoes I had, all the tongues were cut out of my shoes and the shoelaces cut in half.
Our Phoenix affiliate ABC 15 reporting, during a separation she announced she wanted to give Gabriel up for adoption. Logan refused and the case went to court, the judge granting both parents shared custody. One December morning, Logan went to pick up Gabriel at Elizabeth's house. He couldn't wait to see his son, but the young dad's excitement quickly turned to panic. Elizabeth and baby Gabriel were missing.
No answer at the door. Looked in the windows, all the dresser drawers were open, there was no clothes in them, and the clothes were gone out of the closet.
It appeared mother and son vanished into the night.
She was gone. I didn't know where she went.
She's a single mom, she'd have a baby, she's not gonna run. We'll get this all worked out. And she ran.
The father, determined to find his son, goes to police, who say their hands are tied until Logan locates Elizabeth. The days tick by. Logan was scheduled to have Gabriel for what would be the baby's first Christmas. Then, 8 excruciating days after Gabriel vanished, a mysterious text from a strange number. It read, "You will never find me. I'm already boarding a plane out of the country. When I'm safe, I'll email you the exact location of dead Gabriel's little blue body, if the garbage don't come first." A frantic Logan dials the number. Elizabeth picks up the phone.
You did not hurt Gabriel.
Yes, because I put the keys up. We need to glue, because I put them in a paper bag and I put them in the trash can.
Where are you? Where's Gabriel?
The pool, I killed him this morning.
I didn't know if I wanted to believe it or not. You know, it scared the crap out of me.
It appears Elizabeth travelled to San Antonio, but why she went to a place where she had no connection was a mystery. Our San Antonio affiliate Fox 29's Yami Virgin reporting that Elizabeth's first priority was to find work.
She did allegedly go to a strip joint and try to look for employment there. We did go there and we talked to 2 women who remembered her coming in for one night to try out.
Police search for Elizabeth and Gabriel, but the trail goes cold. Meanwhile, the mom on the run boards a bus without her son, headed to Florida, where just days later she is arrested in Miami, charged with kidnapping. Elizabeth changes her story to police, telling them baby Gabriel isn't dead, he's alive and well, and in the care of a San Antonio couple who she claims to have met through an underground adoption agency. Elizabeth told police she arranged to meet the mystery couple here in this public park, 10 a.m, 2 days after Christmas. So as the families in these homes were exchanging gifts, Elizabeth was handing over little Gabriel, his new life beginning just near this swing set. And with that, she got in her car and drove off. Adoption expert Elizabeth Duranovic says for some reason, San Antonio has become the dirty adoption capital of the United States, with babies changing hands in the back rooms of sleazy hotels under murky conditions that are hard to track.
When it comes to whether or not this adoption could have happened, why San Antonio?
It's been a community in which there have been a proliferation of adoption agencies, many of them attorney-owned.
And in fact, there was a very notorious agency very close to the hotel where Elizabeth Johnson stayed in San Antonio. And that raises a lot of questions about what happened to this little boy.
Can you tell me a little bit about that particular agency?
And they were known for being a feeder agency for New York baby brokers.
Jurenovich says that hotel was a well-known headquarters for baby brokering, with pregnant mothers checking in and out of the hotel in a day or two, just enough time to birth the baby and hand it off for payment.
Traditionally, adoption was considered to be the domain of social service agencies. The alternative was, of course, black market adoption, where children were being placed for sale. The medium between those two alternatives is the gray market adoptions.
And when we talk about a grey market adoption, what do you precisely mean by that?
Gray market adoptions are typically facilitated by an attorney.
Could Baby Gabriel have been sold to the mysterious Texas couple in a grey market adoption? A potentially lucrative deal for a young, broke and desperate mother. If Elizabeth did broker a deal, she's not saying. After her arrest, Elizabeth is extradited to Arizona, where she's put on trial, facing multiple charges including kidnapping and custodial interference.
Gabriel Johnson was a pawn. He was a tool. He was a piece in a game.
You did not hurt Gabriel.
That's because I took the keys up. When you drink blue, because that's one of them in a paper bag and I put them in the trash can.
Where are you? Where's Gabriel?
The pool. I killed him this morning.
Where did they go? Cops tracked her down to Miami, where she told them she didn't kill her son, but gave him away to a mystery couple in San Antonio in an underground adoption.
Do you think that it's feasible that she could have come here and simply lost her mind?
I really don't. And I base that on the fact that she was very methodical. That somebody who has a psychiatric breakdown doesn't go to the lengths that she went to execute her plans, to document them, right down to the map to the park.
Logan and his cousins take matters into their own hands, heading to San Antonio to try to find Gabriel.
We were at a gas station and we went inside and the girl that was working there remembered Elizabeth. And so people were saying to us, oh yeah, I remember when she was in here, she came in to buy, crackers or, she paid for some gas and had her son with her.
Meanwhile, San Antonio investigators feverishly search for a body, even digging up a Texas landfill.
Homicide investigators believe that aspects surrounding the disappearance of baby Gabriel involve elements of a possible homicide.
Elizabeth is charged with kidnapping and custodial interference. The young mother is not charged with murder because no body was ever found, and the jury could never reach a verdict on the kidnapping charge, and it was subsequently dropped. As Elizabeth sits in jail awaiting trial, an explosive development that could alter the outcome of the case. Tempe detectives claim that before heading to Texas, Elizabeth tried to give the baby to Tammy and Jack Smith, an Arizona couple who wanted to adopt Gabriel. Tammy is accused of lying on a court document in what prosecutors call an elaborate plan to try to adopt Gabriel without his dad's permission.
Is that your writing?
I believe so. It really looks like it.
Prosecutors say Tammy forged her cousin's name on court records, suggesting he could be Gabriel's father, even though she knew it was not true. Tammy testified she was simply helping Elizabeth fill out the adoption paperwork.
I was just basically writing the stuff that I knew, like kind of repetitive, her name, the baby's name, Logan's name, things like that. But I was also off and on taking care of the baby, and he was crying a lot.
The couple never did adopt Gabriel, although Tammy admits she tried. A jury found her guilty of conspiracy to commit custodial interference and forgery. She served only 30 days in jail, a sentence which infuriated Elizabeth, who was herself facing a possible 27-year sentence for kidnapping and other charges. In what appeared to be a self-defensive reaction, she wrote a scathing letter to the judge criticising that 30-day sentence. I can't accept how lightly you sentenced Tammy Smith. 30 days in jail, 3 years probation. How could you? Are you mad, blind, deaf, dense? After being released, Tammy says she still doesn't know the fate of little Gabriel.
I want so badly to know what really happened. Only she knows and God knows what she did.
Finally, Elizabeth gets her day in court.
Gabriel Johnson was a pawn. He was a tool. He was a piece in a game.
In opening statements, Elizabeth Johnson's attorney asks the jury to ignore the fact that baby Gabriel has been missing for years, his client refusing to reveal where he is.
I'm going to ask you not to speculate about those things I know you want to speculate about. I'm going to ask you not to speculate about the current status or the whereabouts of Gabriel Johnson. And I'm going to ask you to remember, this is not a case about whether or not you like Elizabeth Johnson.
Elizabeth interrupts the testimony with an emotional outburst.
Ms. Johnson, I want to give you some time, so I want you to take some time. And if you need to step out, you can.
She's young. She's in a high-profile trial. The issues are issues that are sort of near and dear to her. These involve her son, issues that very much affected her life.
Gabriel's grandfather, Frank McQuarrie, testified that he missed out on the joys of having a grandchild.
Was this his first Christmas?
It was.
Did you or Logan take him to see Santa Claus?
We didn't get the chance to.
After 2 days of deliberation, the jury finds Elizabeth guilty.
You're talking about an incredibly manipulative woman who has worked the system to her advantage now. If she, in fact, killed this baby, I will be the first one at Huntsville watching her die.
The sentence, 5 years. Gabriel's grandfather is furious.
They made her a smoking deal. Just tell us what she did with Gabriel. And that pretty much tells you what she did with Gabriel.
I think the main thing I'd probably say is just flat out tell me the truth. That's all I want to hear, is the truth come out of your mouth.
Elizabeth got credit for time served, so she's been released. But Gabriel is still missing, and she still won't say a word about where he is.
Even last night, just minutes before we walked out of the prison, she was saying to me, Mark, I can't believe it's really going to happen. Finally, I'm going to get out of here.
Elizabeth seemingly starting her new life as a saucy brunette with a new name, Joanna, aka Jojo, and a new husband.
She's done all kinds of things to herself. She completely changed herself.
I think it's unbelievable that she can just go and hand off her baby to anybody she wants and then just go and live her daily life like nothing ever happened.
But internet sleuths were onto her and tipped off cops. Elizabeth was arrested because she took a trip out of state and failed to notify authorities that she got married. She served only 20 days for those probation violations. Meanwhile, the search for baby Gabriel continues. This is a composite of what he could look like now at 6 years old. Despite all the pain Logan has endured, he now has a happy life with his fiancée and 2 sons.
Both my sons would love to meet him and, just start a life with him.
I look forward to Gabriel coming home. I mean, who wouldn't want another kid in their life? Sorry.
Apparently, Elizabeth didn't. Baby Gabriel has never been found, and only Elizabeth knows the truth.